Assalamualaikum. Today we are going to present about our assignments in Principles of Islamic Accounting. So I'm going to start with listing the difference between the Islamic worldview and the conventional worldview of accounting. In Islamic worldview, accounting is seen as a dual worldview, which means belief in this world and the hereafter, while in the conventional worldview, accounting is seen as a materialist worldview, which means that this world is everything. This point here means that in the conventional worldview, they are more concerned about the world and they don't think much about the life in the hereafter, unlike the Islamic worldview, where they believe in both the world and the hereafter. The second point in differentiating the Islamic and the conventional worldview is, in the view of Islamic, when a person does whatever a person does in this brief life will affect their prospects in the hereafter, or it is also called as the accountability concept. And in the conventional worldview, the concept of life after death is generally regarded as a skepticism. And in the third point, in Islamic worldview, there is no distinction between religious and non-religious activity. Whether you are Muslim or not, it doesn't really affect anything because Islam is actually a way of life. It's not merely a religion. And as for the conventional worldview, although they do believe in God, in spiritual being, it will have no influence on the economic or the political behavior. Or we can simply say that conventional worldview is kind of a secularism. So consequently, under the Islamic worldview, the Maratilah or the God's pleasure and Al-Falah, success in this life and hereafter, these 2 points becomes the greatest values, while under the conventional worldview, material wealth and sensuous pleasure becomes their greatest values.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Nur Atira Ani binti Ibrahim from DIA 6A. We go to the next question, which is question 2A. What is code of ethics? Do you know about ethics? Ethics is derived from the Greek word called ethos, which means character, spirit, and attitudes of group of people or culture. In the concise Oxford Dictionary, define ethics as relating to morals and the treating of morals question. Code of ethics means guide of principle designed to help professionals conduct business honestly and with integrity. Code of ethics are also referred to as an ethical code, may encompass areas such as business ethics, a code of professional practice, and employee code of conduct. A code of ethics is a document released by top-level management that contains a set of principles intended to help members of the organization in conducting business in an honest and ethical manner. It is a body of principles by which a firm decides what is good and wrong. As a result, a company's code of ethics encourages its employees in understanding the difference between right and wrong. It will represent the organization's basic ideals, which is govern decision making. It is established ethical guidelines for its members to follow. It lays down basic rules to help people make decisions what is appropriate behavior in a specific situation. Ethics is a concern with principles, values, and beliefs that guide judgment and action, which extend beyond following the law, rules, and regulations. Ethics is all about doing the proper things in each situation. Finally, The code of ethics contains the organization values, especially on how the corporation expects to implement its mission and vision, as well as guidance to employees on ethical standards and how to achieve them, following the law, supporting green business practice, and adhering to confidentiality and privacy requirements are all themes covered by Code of Ethics. Next, we go to the next question, which is Part A, Question 2B. The question is, what is difference between AUFI Code of Ethics and MIA Code of Ethics? I will explain about AUFI first. The AUFI is a body established with the goal of developing, promulgating, and reviewing accounting standards to be followed by member institutions, among other things. The Code of Ethics is a guide to the spirit as well as the specific in which a professional migration agent should behave with its structure of an ethical framework, declaration of principle, and comprehensive policy. Furthermore, Code of Ethics is a set of moral standards that the company employs to evaluate what is right and what is wrong. Lastly, the Code of Ethics is more general in scope, defining what is acceptable for the organization in terms of integrity and commercial practice. That's all from me. Thank you.
Next, I'm going to continue explaining about the MIA Code of Ethics. MIA stands for Malaysian Institutes of Accountants. The MIA Code of Ethics are also called as Code of Ethical Conduct. A code of conduct here is a set of rules and regulations that outline on how to act or how to behave in a specific situations. Code of conduct is basically more specific and more particular in nature, and it also guides how a company's employees should conduct their daily basis and also in a certain situations. Also, the MIA concerns for the safety of their members and the reputation of the profession by aiding agents in maintaining the highest professional standard. It specifies on how workers must perform. So in conclusion, the Code of Conduct was developed from the Code of Ethics. As a result, the latter concept is more expensive than the former. Furthermore, these codes benefit organizations of all sizes and types since they provide guidance to staff, allowing them to conduct in a systematic way while also conveying a public image of ethical behavior. That's all from me. Thank you.
Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is Fidos Arman. Okay, now I will discuss the question about in what way the Islamic accounting concept of piety can assist the accountant to become ethical. First, we need to know what is a piety, or in Malay he call ketakwaan or takwa. Okay, piety or takwa is an important agenda in the life of Muslim who believe in Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala. Through this piety, we will be able to further strengthen one identity as a good Muslim, as a true Muslim. There are many factors that will answer the question of what is the importance of piety in human life, or especially especially Muslim. The blessing in worldly life will be more blessed if Muslim practice is Muslim practice life as a Muslim as a whole. Piety can give many benefit to Muslim because it can contribute to the peace of the human soul. It can also avoid and control human action from doing something useless thing. Okay, thus piety can make the accountant to become the ethical, because piety can teach people to distinguish between a good thing and a bad thing. So the accountant can distinguish between the good thing or the bad thing. Okay, the presence of the piety can educate our hearts to determine something correctly and the best. In addition, a pious accountant will abide by the existing rules to ensure that no misconduct occurred. That is the good thing for accountant. Therefore, as a good accountant, the Islamic concept of piety must be include in ourselves in order to perform our duties with full trust and ethic. I think that's all the answer from me. Thank you.
Next, we will discuss about question 3b, which is, what are the rules of ethical conduct based on the Islamic principle of trustworthiness, and do I think these ethical rules are sufficient enough to discipline accountants? Islamic ethics places a great importance on trustworthiness and honesty in everyday life. Thus, it is an important principle in Islamic management. Trustworthiness is the duty that man is entrusted with, be it sacred or worldly. It means for one not to steal, defraud, cheat, or lie. The manager should be a trustworthy person, honest one, whether he or she is managing his or her firm or hired to manage other people's firms or companies. Managers should refrain from making empty promises because it is considered a sign of hypocrites. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was an epitome of great managers. The Prophet had this trait or quality in himself. He managed the business of his future wife, which is Khadijah, with trustworthiness and honesty. Likewise, he used to encourage Muslims to exhibit honesty and trustworthiness in all their acts. Is trustworthiness sufficient to discipline accountants? In my opinion, these ethical rules are not sufficient enough to discipline accountants. This is simply because trustworthiness is all based off the faith and personality of a person. People can just simply lie just to achieve the things that they want, and nothing can physically stop them from doing it. But being trustworthy can make you become a trusted person, and people will deal with you more comfortably. I can agree, trustworthiness is definitely needed to be a great accountant, but there are still more things needed to be considered, more than just this one single ethic.